Welcome to Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a bit shorter than I normally would do because I have very bad sore throat right now. At least I'm hoping it'll be short. But I'm going to focus on what I did think the show really represented. Now, I'm not going to talk about absolutely everything, but I am going to talk about the things I cared about. One of them is JoJo. Oh my goodness, that woman is beautiful. The interview she did with Becky Lynch, when you look at JoJo straight on, she's absolutely adorable. And I am glad that she still is in the company, but I do believe that every time when the company has someone they need to sing, it should not be Jillian Delgado, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I always do names bad. It should be JoJo. Now that counts if JoJo is allowed to or if she feels comfortable doing it. But to be honest, I'd rather see JoJo singing than Jillian. Now let's get to the first match of the night, which didn't really feel like a match at all. Neville versus Kevin Owens. What did that represent? This is a agglomeration of how badly WWE has booked Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens shouldn't have to be jobbing to Neville to get angry to the point where he can beat the crap out of Neville, beat the crap out of Dean Ambrose, and look decently built doing it. He shouldn't have to be done like that. Kevin Owens should have already been way more over than he is now. And seeing that he had to beat up on Neville to beyond ridiculous, and then having to beat up on Dean Ambrose after his match, didn't really give me a lot of interest going into Royal Rumble, because they keep trying to improve their ratings so much because, look, I don't believe they're going to do a really good match at Royal Rumble, because I'm sure Kevin Owens is going to meet Dean by then. If they start doing it in between that, why do I care? They're not going to put Kevin Owens into the main title scene going up against Roman Reigns, because you knew what happened at the end of the night. So I just feel sorry for Kevin Owens. I just do. The next thing I want to... oh man, that hurts. Like I said, my throat is just messed up. This weather did me in, ladies and gentlemen. New York right now is nice. It's not freezing cold, but the weather is so erratic, it sucks. But that's New York. Sometimes it does happen. Anyway. The next thing that really felt like it didn't need to happen, and the subsequent match after that, was Miz TV. I really believe Miz TV needs to go away for a while. I do not want to see Miz TV for a while. It has been so overused, it's boring. And the Miz himself still doing this artisan, this actor who's trying to be an artisan, like a guy who wants to be able to paint the Mona Lisa, the Seven Chapels, doesn't work for him. I mean, he's trying his best to make it work, and to a certain extent, to most people, he's a heel, but he just feels empty. And this entire segment, which had Heath Slater, The Big Show, Ryback, Zack Ryder, who got the biggest pop out of them all. This shows how bad the WWE doesn't understand when talent is over. Push them. If you don't like Zack, if you do like Zack, makes no difference. The crowd gives him a very strong reaction every single time he comes out. Push him to see what really happens. And the way they pushed him about 3 years ago was stupid. And that's the truth. At least 3 to 4 years ago, they pushed him horribly and it didn't work for him. He just got buried by Cena, which I will get to later. But he was the only one that gave the biggest pop. And then the subsequent match with Big Show and Ryback was not necessary. You want to have a reason for Ryback to be dealing with Big Show by a Royal Rumble, since Big Show is now putting himself in as number one. Why not do something substantial? You didn't need to match. They didn't need to touch. So I felt this was a bad move on the WWE. But to be honest, WWE has been very oversensitive lately. So I'm not surprised they did this. New Day segment was good. I just loved the New Day. They did such a great job. They did such a wonderful job. I just loved them. Seeing Callisto and Sin Cara interact with them, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Especially after Sin Cara might have actually hurt his shoulder. It's a good possibility that Unico might have actually gotten hurt. But you guys tell me below if Unico really looks like he's out of shape. Because I know these guys got to keep themselves in shape to a certain extent. But Unico does not have any abs. He looks a bit flabby. That's just me. You guys tell me below what you guys think about Unico and his look physically. He looks a bit weak. Like a little more muscle than I am. And I'm injured, so I can't exercise like anyone else. My muscles are very weak right now. And he looked just a tad more fitter than I did. He looked chubby. So, putting the New Day over was good. I still love the New Day, and I still believe Kofi Kingston is the most strongest character there. I know Xavier Woods got his moment. I know Biggie Langston looks good. But I still believe Kofi is the most strongest person they have in that group. Me personally, being the straight man most of the time is a lot better. Now, let's get to Sasha Banks, and let's get to Becky. Now, you already heard how I felt about JoJo. When it comes to Becky Lynch, I just feel like they missed the boat with her because they didn't go all the way with the steampunk type of character she is. This is just me. I feel that wearing the gargles the way she does in her jacket, which is a steampunk type of style, they needed to do something more special with her. They could have done something special with her because steampunking is an actual thing. To be a steampunker or to love steampunk is something special. To have the 1890s type of style is something that people love to cosplay as. I personally don't. I'm too shy to do that kind of stuff. But I really feel like they missed the boat with her. And when you look at this match and you see Team Bad and you see how the boss can talk well, that one of the problems they have with Naomi is that they don't let her talk enough. Naomi had improved at one point when she was by herself and was allowed to start being a heel. But now that she's in a team and Becky, well not Becky, Charlotte, I'm sorry, I am sick, I'm kind of not focused a little bit. Oh man, this hurts. When it comes to, I'm saying Charlotte, Sasha, you see I'm really in pain right now, ladies and gentlemen. Sasha does most of the talking for Team Bad. She does. And I really feel this is hurting Naomi a bit. Deluxe Man believes that majority of the women in the Divas division are just dolls. I don't 100% agree about that. I do believe that they are put into a certain mold. But there are women who can break that mold if they're allowed to do it. Sasha Banks is one of them. Tamina is another one. And Naomi is the last one. Particularly Naomi, for me personally, as a Kofi Kingston type of high flyer, which we don't have in the Divas division. If they had given her the title, you would see something entirely different. And when you see this match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, the crowd made it obvious. They did love Becky. They did love Sasha. But the problem was they weren't allowed to be themselves. Now Becky is trying to be the friend of Charlotte. And then Sasha is trying to be the heel that has to have help. So you have a few glimpses of Sasha really showing why she is the boss. But it's not enough. And if they put Becky up against Charlotte now, Charlotte, I don't really care about much. We haven't seen her in a bit, and we need to keep seeing her with her dad and keep being more of Daddy's little girl. We didn't see her this week, so that just doesn't help a character. You need to be on the main show, or at least be seen to a certain extent on SmackDown Live. And I missed SmackDown Live, so I didn't see if Rick was there. I believe he might have been, but if he wasn't, that didn't help his daughter. Now, let's get to the end of the show, because my throat hurts. John Cena versus ADR. Now, when you see Roman Reigns in the beginning of the show with Vince, It really gives you a little bit extra. But here's my problem with the opening of the show, which kind of leads to the ending of the show. Why couldn't they have just decided to arrest both Stephanie and Vince? I really believe that would have been more helpful for the product. I really do believe that. If Vince and Stephanie had been arrested, I did like how the cops didn't just grab the guy, and I'm talking about Roman Reigns, and just arrest him and take him away. I'm glad. But I really believe if both of them had been arrested and someone else had been controlling the show, it would have been more helpful. I really believe that. You could have done Triple H on the Titantron, giving orders to whoever is next in line to Vince, Stephanie, or anyone else. That would have been more helpful. You didn't have to even show them. You could have just said that Triple H is remotely controlling the show. It could be done. So, in this respect, I really believe they missed the boat on it. When it came to the match between John Cena and ADR, I'll give it to you like this. I've seen Deluxe Man, I've seen the Slug Daddy. I've seen their thoughts on what's been going on in the WWE. And as much as we don't want John there, as much as we hope that with John Cena being gone, there would be something more for the people, there isn't. The way they built their product is so weak that they had no choice to bring back John. If John was hurt, they would have had to beg him to come back early because they needed him. As much as we don't want him there, they needed him there because there was nothing in this show. I mean, John is necessarily needed. But here's the thing. By the time the show ended, they focused only on Roman Reigns and Vince himself. So when it came down to it, John just completely disappeared after he got his ass handed to him. John is not the focus here. It is Roman Reigns and Vince himself. So that's got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I don't believe John Cena, the Golden Boy, is gone. But I do believe that they realized with John gone, and they lost John Cena for a little bit, Daniel Bryan for a little bit, CM Punk for a little bit, Cesaro is gone, Seth Rollins is gone. They realized they're in trouble. Their ratings reflected how bad the show has been, so they had no option but now that John Cena is back to kind of push him aside to focus on Roman Reigns, now either to try and build him up to go up against John Cena or just to make him his own entity, because if John Cena disappears because they don't have John Cena for a while, they didn't have Randy Orton for a while either, they need people in the main title scene. They are in trouble. So this was a focus about only Roman Reigns and Vince. But you guys tell me below, did you believe that Vince sold the show? Because to be honest, even though he tried, and now Vince is going to be guest referee next week with Sheamus and Roman Reigns going for the title. Well, Roman Reigns is versus Sheamus and Vince is the ref. Do you believe he sold it? To be honest, I don't know. I don't think so. Because they're trying so hard to keep their ratings up instead of caring about the product in general long term. Now, you guys tell me below. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. My Tamina Booking the Wrestler will be out probably today or tomorrow. Right now I'm still kind of sick. I think it's going to be out tomorrow. Watch out for the Samoan Queen, Tamina. I know I said Samoan Queen. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace! I can't scream.